There is some very spooky stuff going on in the world of quantum physics. Now, you may have heard of the double-slit experiment. If not, I'll explain it. And there was a second experiment which was even freakier than the first one. And I thought this video was overly complicated for everybody to understand. And I thought I could explain it so simply that a 5-year-old could understand it. So with a classic experiment, an electron, which is a small piece of matter, was fired through a screen containing 2 slits. And they had some detection equipment to, I've drawn an eye, but it's just some detection equipment to watch which slit it goes through when it's being fired multiple times. And when it hits the screen, if it's being observed, it is behaving like a particle and it hits either here or here, if it's being fired multiple times, creating this pattern like a particle. If it's not observed, it's behaving differently. So if you imagine a wave approaching this screen, it would go through both slits, come out the other side, interfere with itself, and then hit the screen in these points simultaneously, creating a pattern like a wave. Now the spooky thing is, why is it behaving differently when it's been observed? It's just a particle. It's not conscious. And yet when it's being watched, it's behaving differently. So some skeptics thought, well, obviously the electron is not conscious, it can't be aware it's been observed. So they thought the detection equipment, as it's, they thought it must be somehow affecting the behaviour, literally interfering with it somehow and affecting its behaviour. So that was what some skeptics thought. Now, a second experiment was created, and this time a photon was fired through the screen with the 2 slits multiple times, and it would hit the screen either like a particle or a wave. Now this time, instead of the detection equipment being where it was going through the slits and potentially interacting with it, affecting its behaviour, the detection was happening after it had already hit the screen. Now, I won't go into how they did this because it's overcomplicating my video, but they very intelligently used a crystal. And again, the same thing happened. So when it was being observed, it was behaving like a particle. And when it wasn't being observed, which slit it went through, it was behaving like a wave. Now, they also added in another step to this experiment, which was an eraser. So when the equipment was detecting which slit it went through, half the time this information was being erased. And every time they erased this information, it went back to behaving like a wave. So again, it was still behaving, if it was observed, it was behaving like a particle, not observed or erased, i.e. not observed again, still behaving like a wave. This experiment is so much more freaky because the observation is happening after it has already hit the screen. It's like, if you can imagine, this is the timeline. You started smoking when you were 14, you met me at 20. It's like me saying, I made you start smoking. How could have I made you start smoking when I met you after you started smoking? So it's as if the observation and the erasing is changing the past. Absolutely mind-boggling. This has got scientists absolutely mind-boggled. If they taught stuff like this at school, I may have been interested in science for the first time ever, but they didn't teach anything interesting like this.